Hello, welcome back to the techyned vlog. And please, if you've not subscribed, kindly subscribe, comment, share. Hope all we've been sharing they've been of good use to you so far. So today we are going to look at 200 plus as project management glossary terms every project manager should know. The first is we're going to look at the definition where we why we're using these and we'll now give an example just so that you understand the flow. Okay. So the first one is acceptance criteria. So it's specific conditions that must be met for deliveries to be accepted. It ensures work meets stakeholder expectations and prevents rework. For example, the software feature passes QA only if it meets the defined acceptance criteria. So activity, a distinct scheduled task, you do within a project. It enables accurate planning, resource allocation, and tracking. So it has to do with designing the database schema. For example, designing the database schema is an activity in the development stage. So for each phase of your project, there are tasks to be done. Activity duration, the estimated timeline required to complete an activity, essential for scheduling and identifying the project timeline. So, for example, coding the login model is estimated to take so number of days. Agile, iterative project management methodology emphasizing collaboration and flexibility, improves adaptability to change requirements and faster delivery. So the team uses Agile sprints to release incremental software update. Agile Manifesto, core values and principles guiding Agile project delivery, provides philosophy for prioritizing customer collaboration and responding to change. The team follows the Agile Manifesto to prioritize working software over documentation. So ART, that's ART, Agile Release Train, long-lived team of Agile teams delivering incremental values in SAFe. SAFe is a kind of way of delivering project. I suggest you read it up. Coordinates multiple teams for aligned, predictable delivery. Three arts are used, or that is three agile release train are used to launch the enterprise application simultaneously. Backlog. You may hear this in Scrum, Kanban, and others. So, and also Waterfall as well. Ordered list of work items to be completed in a project or sprint helps manage priorities and track progress efficiently. The product backlog contains all planned features for the next release. Baseline, original approved project plan, including scope, schedule, and cost, provides a reference to measure project performance. The project manager compares current progress to the baseline schedule. Benefit realization, process of ensuring that the intended business value is achieved, confirms that project output delivered expected outcomes, training employees on new software resulted in measurable productivity gains. Bundle chart, you see this mostly in Scrum, visual representation of work remaining over time in Agile, tracks team progress and predicts completion. So the burn down chart shows the sprint backlog that shows that the sprint backlog will be completed on schedule. Change control, process to manage changes to project, scope, schedule, or budget. So it maintains project integrity and prevents uncontrolled deviations. All future requests must go through the change control board. Change management, structured approach to transitioning individuals, teams, and organization minimizes resistance and maximizes the adoption of project outcomes. A communication plan was implemented to support system migration. So communication plan is part of change management. Communication plan, strategy for distributing project information to stakeholders, ensures transparency, alignment, and informed decision making. Weekly, for example, weekly status emails and monthly steering committee meetings were included in the plan. Constraint, limitation affecting project scope, schedule, cost, or quality. It identifies risk and guides realistic planning. Budget limitations constrained the number of test environments. I hope you are getting the flow of it now. Critical part, sequence of activities, determining the earliest project completion. So you usually see this, I think, on Gantt chart. Delays Delays here directly impact the project timeline. A delay in integration testing extended the project by 3 days. Dashboard. Visual tool summarizing project performance metrics enables quick insight for decision making. The PMO dashboard shows schedule variance and budget status. Deliverable. Tangible or intangible output produced by a project. Confirms that project objectives are met. The completed user manual is a key deliverable for the system rollout. Dependencies. Relationship between tasks where one relies on another, critical for scheduling and risk identification. Testing cannot start until development is complete. End value EV, value of work performed expressed in budget terms, measures project performance against plan. The EV shows we have completed 50% of the project work for 45% of the budget. Escalation, process of raising unresolved issues to higher authority ensures timely resolution and risk mitigation. The project manager escalated a critical vendor delay to steering committee. Estimate at completion, forecast total cost at project completion, helps in budgeting, budget tracking, and financial control based on current performance. The ESC predicts projects will stay within budget. Feasibility study, evaluation of the viability of a project before initiation, reduces risk by confirming the project is practical and achievable. The feasibility study confirms sufficient resources and technology for implementation. Governance, framework of rules, practices, and processes to ensure project success, provides oversight and accountability. The governance board approves all major project decisions. Gantt chart, visual timeline of project tasks and dependencies, helps track progress and plan resources. Gantt chart shows task start and end date across the project. Hybrid project management, combination of waterfall and agile methodologies allows flexibility while maintaining structure. The team uses waterfall for planning and agile for iterative development. Issue log, record of project issues, their status and resolution. So tracks problems and ensures timely resolution. All open defects were recorded in the issue log for review. So I think there was a short we did on like difference between issue log and risk log. Yeah, and their relationship. So you can check that out. Iteration, short development cycle in Agile to deliver increment, facilitates continuous delivery and feedback. The team completed the second iteration of the reporting model. Kanban, visual workflow management method for agile projects, improves task transparency and flow efficiently. So efficiency. So Kanban is popular for the board. I think doing like it's divided into doing finished or thereabout, like showing the progress of what you guys have done. Tasks are moved across Kanban board from to do, in progress, and done. Yes. Kickoff meeting. Initial meeting to align stakeholders and launch the projects, establishes clear expectations and responsibilities. The kickoff meeting outline deliverables, timelines, and roles. Key performance indicator, that's KPI, metric to measure project performance against objectives, tracks success and informs corrective actions. KPI for task completion rate shows team productivity. Lesson learned. Insights gained from project experience to improve future project, enhances organizational knowledge and avoids repeating mistakes. Lesson learned highlighted delays in approval that will be addressed next project. Milestone, significant point or event in a project timeline, marks progress and triggers review or approvals. Completion of system testing is a key milestone. Monitoring and control, process group tracking process group tracking project progress and performance, ensures objectives are met and corrective actions are taken. Weekly status reports are part of the monitoring and controlling phases. Product backlog, ordered list of features, enhancement. Remember, we talked about backlog before. So now we're talking about product backlog. So it's now ordered list of features, enhancements, and fixes for a product, guides development priorities and planning. The backlog is reviewed and reprioritized at each sprint planning section. Program. Group of related projects managed in a coordinated way aligns projects to strategic objectives and optimizes resources. The ERP program would include multiple software implementation projects. Program Management Office, that's PMO, centralized entity providing governance, standards, and support for projects, ensures consistent project delivery and methodology adherence. The PMO reviews project performance and compliance monthly. Product owner, role responsible for defining backlog priorities in Agile, ensures development delivers maximum business value. Let's say product optimization. That's majorly his role or her role. The product owner approves features before sprint development. Project charter, document formally authorizing a project and defining objectives. So it kind of gives the authority to the project manager to go ahead with the project, okay? Provides authority, scope, and alignment. The charter specifies project goals, budget, and key stakeholders. Project life cycle, series of phases a project goes through from initiation to closure, guides planning, execution, and delivery processes. The life cycle includes initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and closure. So, project management plan. Comprehensive plan outlining how the project would be executed, monitored, and closed serves as a roadmap for project delivery. The plan details schedule, budget, quality, and risk management strategies. Project scope, work required to deliver project objectives, defines boundaries, and prevents scope creep. The scope includes software development but excludes user training. Project schedule. Planned timeline for completing project activities, coordinates resources, and ensures timely delivery. The schedule specifies start and end dates for each task. Project sponsor. Person providing financial resources and authority for a project, supports decision making, and resolves escalated issues. The sponsor approved additional funding to meet the deadline. That's the person you always go for your sign-offs and all whatnot. So project team. Group responsible for executing project work delivers objectives through collaboration and skill application. The project team includes developers, testers, and analysts. Quality assurance (QA) process ensuring project deliverables meet defined standards, prevent defects, and maintains customer satisfaction. QA reviewed all test scripts before deployment. Quality control process to inspect and verify deliverables against requirements, detect issues early to ensure product quality. QC identified a misalignment in the database schema. Reside matrix. Responsibility assignment chart, identify roles in tags, clarifies accountability and prevents confusion. The reside matrix shows who is responsible, who is accountable, who should be consulted, and who should be informed. Release planning. Schedule of delivering increments in agile projects, coordinate work, and align stakeholders on delivery expectations. The release plan outline futures for the next three sprints. Resource allocation, assigning people, equipment, and budgets to project tasks ensures optimal use of resources and prevents bottlenecks. Two developers were allocated to the critical model to meet the deadline. Risk, uncertain events that may impact project objectives. Identifying risks early allows proactive management. Vendor delays were identified as a project risk. Risk management plan. Strategy for identifying, analyzing, and responding to risk reduces potential negative impact on the project. The risk management plan included contingency actions for system downtime, rolling wave planning, progressive elaboration of works as the project unfolds, provide detailed planning only when needed, reducing work. So detailed design tasks were planned 1 month ahead using rolling wave planning. Agile framework for iterative development with fixed length sprints promotes adaptability, collaboration, and continuous improvement. The team holds daily Scrum meetings to review progress. Scrum Master, facilitator ensuring processes are followed, removes obstacles or impediments or blockers, and coaches the team for optimal performance. The Scrum Master resolved the backlog prioritization conflict. Scope creep, uncontrolled changes or growth in project scope can delay the project and increases costs. Adding extra features without approval causes scope creep, slack, or float. Amount of time and activity can be delayed without affecting the project, helps in resource planning and schedule flexibility. Task B has 2 days of float, so its start can be delayed if necessary. Sprint, fixed length iteration in Agile to deliver an increment, ensures frequent increment delivery of value. The team completed the payment model in the 2 week sprint. Stakeholder, individual or group with interest in the project outcome, engaging stakeholders ensures support and reduces resistance. The marketing team was consulted before finalizing the product features. Status report. Document summarizing current project progress, provides transparency and supports decision making. Weekly status report highlighted schedule variances and risk. Time box. Fixed period allocated to complete a task or activity. Encourages focus and limits scope for iterative work. So the design section was time boxed to 2 hours. Waterfall, linear project management approach with sequential phases provides structural and predictability for projects with well-defined requirements. The software was developed using the waterfall methodology. Work breakdown structure, WBS, hierarchical decomposition of projects, deliverables into smaller components. The facilitates planning, scheduling, and assignment of responsibilities. The WBS broke down the website project into design, development, and testing components. Work packages, smallest unit of work in a WBS that can be assigned to a team, clarifies responsibilities, and improves task tracking. Developing the login feature was assigned to a work package. Acceptance testing, process to verify that the final deliverables meet the requirement, confirms readiness for production or deployment. The client performed acceptance testing, that's maybe UAT, before signing off on the software. Activity lists, activity plan. Comprehensive list of all activities required for a project ensures nothing is overlooked and aids scheduling. The activity list included coding, testing, and documentation tasks. Agile coach, expert guiding teams in agile practices, improves adoption and efficiency of agile methods. The agile coach facilitated sprint retrospective and removed workflow impediment. Baseline schedule, approved version of the project schedule used for comparison, tracks deviations and measures performance. The baseline schedule allowed the PM to identify delays in task completion. Business case, document justifying the initiation of a project, ensures alignment with organizational goals. The business case outlined expert return on investment and resource requirement. Change request, formal proposal to modify project scope, schedule, or budget ensures changes are evaluated and approved properly. A change request was submitted to add a new reporting model. Configuration management, discipline to maintain consistency of products, performance, and documentation, prevents errors and ensures traceability. All software versions were tracked using configuration management tools. Contingency plan. Alternative plan to address identified risk, reduces impact of unexpected events. A contingency plan was prepared for potential server outages. Cost baseline, approved version of the project budget provides a reference to measure cost performance. The cost baseline helps track overruns in hardware procurement. Critical chain, Project scheduling methods focusing on resource constraints, optimizes timeline while preventing delays. The critical chain analysis identified resource bottlenecks for key tasks. Daily stand-up short daily meeting for the team to report progress and issues, promotes communication and rapid problem solving. The team discussed yesterday's accomplishment and blockers in the daily stand up. Dependency matrix, table showing tasks, interdependencies, helps identify and manage risk in scheduling. The dependency matrix highlighted that testing depends on development completion. And schedule technique to measure schedule performance provides insight into project progress compared to plan. The ES indicated the project was 2 days behind schedule. Enterprise environmental factors, conditions influencing project performance, not under team control, guides realistic planning and decision making. Organizational structure was considered an enterprise environmental factor for team collaboration or even project delivery. Escalation path, define procedure for raising unresolved issues, ensures timely resolution. The issue was escalated to the PMO according to the escalation path. Estimate an approximation of time, costs, or resources required for a task. It provides a basis for planning and decision making. The PM estimated that testing would take 10 days. Fast tracking technique to reduce schedule by overlapping tasks can introduce risk but accelerate delivery. Design and development were fast tracked to meet client deadline. I suggest you read this up, it's very important. Float, see Slack. Time a task can be delayed without affecting the project. So it's Slack, float, provides scheduling flexibility. Task C has 3 days of float, so its starts can be shifted. Functional requirements, features and functions that the system must provide ensures alignment with stakeholder needs. Login, search, and reporting of functional requirements for the application. Gnatch chart software tool for creating and managing Gnatch charts simplifies visualization of timelines and dependencies. The team use MS Project to create the Gantt chart, sorry. Governance framework. Structure defining authority, roles, and responsibilities, supports accountability and decision making. The governance framework outlined approval processes for scope changes, integrated change control, process ensuring all changes are reviewed and approved before implementation, maintains project integrity. All change requests went through integrated change control. Issue, event or problems that may affect project objectives needs timely resolution. A missing resource was logged as an issue in the tracker. Iterative development, process of developing a system in repeated cycle reduces risk and improves quality. The team use iterative development to refine features every sprint. Kickoff presentation, document or slide used to start a project, align stakeholders and communicate goals. The PM presented the project objectives during the kickoff presentation. Lesson learned repository, central place to document lesson learned, support continuous improvement. All project lessons were stored in the repository for future reference. Milestone chart, visual representation of key project events, tracked progresses and approvals. The milestone chart showed completion of designs and testing phase. Monitoring and control phase. Project phase focus on tracking, reviewing, and regulating progress, ensures objectives are met and corrective actions are made. Weekly status reports were reviewed during the monitoring and control phase. Nominal group technique. Structured method for group brainstorming and decision making ensures balanced participation and prioritization. The team use nominal group technique to select the most critical project risk. Organization breakdown structure (BS). Hierarchical representation of the organization involved in a project clarifies reporting lines and responsibilities. The OBS showed who was accountable for each work package. Organizational process assets. Existing processes, templates, and knowledge base in projects supports efficiency and consistency. The PM used OPAs from previous projects to build the shadow. Pareto analysis technique to identify the most significant factors in data set. Very important, helps prioritize efforts on the most impactful items. The team apply Pareto analysis to focus on the top 20 of the defense, causing 80% of 80% of issues. Performance measurement baseline. Combined scope, schedule, and cost baseline used to measure performance enables objective performance tracking. The PMB helped identify division in cost and schedule. PERT, that is Program Evaluation Review Technique, statistical tool to analyze tasks, durations, and project timelines, improve scheduling accuracy. PERT estimated the project completion time considering optimistic, pessimistic, and most likely duration. This has a formula. I suggest you look it up. Portfolio collection of projects and programs managed together for strategic alignment, optimizes resources and prioritizes investment. The company's IT portfolio includes 6 active software projects. Portfolio management, coordinated management of projects and programs to achieve strategic objectives, ensures optimal resource allocation. Portfolio management help prioritize high value initiatives. And at this point, I think we are going to take a short break, then come back and finish up. Thank you. Hello, we're back. So let's start from where we stopped from, and that will be precedence diagramming method. Technique to construct a project schedule network diagram, classify task dependencies. The team used PDM to identify start to finish relationships between tasks. Procurement management plan describing how project procurement will be conducted, ensures timely acquisition of goods and services. The plan outlines vendor selection, contracts, and delivery schedules. Product increment, sum of all backlog items completed during a sprint plus previous increment, represents usable value delivered. The sprint delivered a product increment with a new reporting model. Product roadmap, high-level visual summary of product development plans, aligns stakeholders and sets expectations. The product roadmap highlighted upcoming features for next 2 quarters. Program risk management, identifying and mitigating risk across multiple related projects. Reduces impact on strategic objectives. Program risk management addresses vendor delays affecting multiple projects. Project integration management ensures that project components work together effectively, provides coordination across all knowledge areas. Integration management ensured schedule, cost, and quality aligned across teams. Project issue, a current problem impacting project objectives requires resolution to prevent negative impact. Server downtime was logged as a project issue needing immediate action. Project kickoff, official start of a project with stakeholder alignment, sets expectations and responsibilities. The PM conducted a project kickoff with all team members and executives. Project management information system, the tools and systems for project planning, execution, and reporting, improves efficiency and decision making. The team use PMIS to track progress and update schedule. Project objectives, specific outcomes the project is intended to achieve, guidelines, planning, and evaluation. The objective was to reduce processing time by 20%. Project portfolio management, centralized management of projects to achieve strategic goals, ensures resource optimization and prioritization. PPM helped the organization allocate budget to high value initiative. Project procurement, process of acquiring products or services from external resources, ensures timely delivery and compliance. The PM manage procurement of third-party software licenses. Project resource, any human, material, or financial elements used to execute project tasks, ensures completion of deliverables. 2 software developers were allocated as project resources. Project risk, potential events or conditions that could impact objectives, enables proactive mitigation. A potential vendor delay was identified as a project risk. Project schedule network diagram, visual representation of a task, sequencing and dependencies aids in critical path analysis. The network diagram highlighted dependencies between design and development tasks. Project scope statement, detailed description of project deliverables and boundaries, prevents misunderstandings and scope creep. The scope The scope statement excluded training but included software deployment, project sponsor, individual providing authority and financial resources for the project support, decision making, and escalation. The sponsor approved additional budget to meet deadlines. Project team roles define responsibilities for team members, clarifies accountability, and prevents overlap. Developers, testers, and analysts were assigned specific project team roles. Quality management plan, document detailing quality standards, processes, and responsibilities, ensures deliverables meet expectations. The QA team followed the quality management plan for all testing. Quality metrics, measurable um, measurable indicators used to assess quality performance, provides objectives, evaluation, defect density was tracked as a key quality metric. Research chart, we've looked at this before in terms of the roles and responsibilities. Release backlog, list of features and tasks for specific releases, release guide, development and deployment. The release backlog include enhancement for the reporting model, resource calendar. Calendar showing availability of resources over time prevents over allocation and conflict. The resource calendar highlighted when team members were on leave. Resource histogram. Bar chart showing resource allocation over time helps visualize workload and adjust assignment. This histogram showed developer hours needed per week. Risk appetite, level of risk an organization is willing to accept, guide risk management decisions. The company's risk appetite allowed minor delays but no cost overruns. Risk breakdown structure, hierarchical representation of project risk aids in analysis and mitigation planning. The RBS categorize risk into technical, schedule, and cost groups. So, risk register, document listing identified risk assessment and mitigation actions, support monitoring and response. All risks we are tracked in the risk register for review. Risk response plan, defined actions to address identified risk, reduces likelihood and impact of negative events. A backup vendor was included in the risk response plan. Rolling budget. Budget updated periodically based on project progress and changes, maintains accuracy and control. The rolling budget reflected revised resource costs each month. Run chart, line chart showing data points over time, tracks trends and performance metrics. A run chart tracked defect counts during test cycles. Shadow compression, technique like crashing or fast tracking or shorten project duration helps meet deadlines when behind the schedule. I suggest read these up. So fast tracking the design and development phase compress the schedule by 2 weeks. Schedule baseline, we've looked at this before. Approved version of the project schedule used to track performance provides a reference for schedule control. Schedule variance, showing you the difference between planned progress and actual progress, helps assess schedule performance. The SV indicated this project was 1 week behind schedule. Scope baseline, approved version of project scope, including WBS and deliverables, provides a reference for scope control. The scope baseline was used to manage change requests. Scope management plan, documents describing how project scope will be defined, validated, and controlled, prevent scope creep. The plan include process for approving new features. Scrum board, visual tools showing backlog items and their status, facilitate team tracking and progress, visibility. The team move tasks across Scrum board from to do to done. Scrum ceremonies, scheduled agile meetings such as sprint planning, daily stand-up, review and retrospective ensures alignment and continuous improvement. The team follows Scrum ceremonies to maintain sprint rhythm. Scrum product backlog, ordered list of work items for the product guide, development priorities, and delivery. The product backlog was refined regularly for upcoming sprint. Scrum sprint review, meeting at the end of a sprint to review completed work, validate delivery value with stakeholders. The sprint review demonstrated the new reporting feature to the client, and also sprint reviews not only for demo but for other things as well. The Scrum Sprint retrospective, meeting to reflect on the sprint process and identify improvement, promotes continuous improvement. The team discuss what went well and what could be improved upon. Scrum Sprint planning, meeting to plan the stats for upcoming sprint, sets clear goals and Backlog items. During sprint planning, the team selects tasks for the 2 week sprint. Scrum team. Cross-functional teams responsible for delivering product increment ensures collaboration and accountability. The Scrum team includes the developers, QA, and the product owner. Secondary risk arising as a direct result of implementing a risk response requires monitoring and management, mitigating the supplier and risk introduced a secondary risk of resource reallocation. Sensitivity analysis techniques to determine how project variable affect outcomes help prioritize risk responses. Sensitivity analysis showed schedule was highly sensitive to resource availability slack. Sea float as well. We've talked about it before, like the time that you can wait before you start another task. Software development life cycle phase for developing software from planning to maintenance ensures structured quality delivery. The team follow the SDLC to develop the web application. Sprint backlog list of tasks selected for completion in the current sprint, guides team focus on execution. The sprint backlog included tasks for login administration, features, stakeholder analysis, process of identifying and evaluating project stakeholders, help prioritize engagement strategies. Stakeholder analysis reviewed the finance team required weekly updates. Stakeholder register, documents containing stakeholder information and roles, support, communication and engagement. All project stakeholders were listed in the register with contact details. Status meeting, regular meeting to review project progress, issues and next steps, ensures alignment and accountability. The PM conducted a weekly status meeting with the project team. Success activity. Activity that follow another in the project schedule defines sequencing and dependencies. Testing is a success activity to development. Task dependency. Relationship between tasks and that determines sequencing critical for scheduling and planning. The database set of tasks had a dependency on the server installation. Team velocity. Measure of work completed by an agile team in a sprint helps predict future delivery. The team velocity was 30 story points per sprint. Technical requirements. Specification describing system capabilities or performance ensures correct functionality. The system must support 10,000 concurrent users as a technical requirement. Test plan. Document outlining test objectives, scope, approach, and resources ensures comprehensive testing coverage. The QA team follow test plan to validate all models. Time management plan. Document describing how project time will be planned, managed, and controlled, ensures schedule adherence. The PM created a time management plan for all tasks. Triple constraint, relationship between scope, time, and cost, balancing all three ensures project success. Changing the scope without adjusting time or cost violates the triple constraint. User acceptance test, that's UAT testing performed by the end user to verify requirements are met, confirms readiness for production. UAT confirmed the invoicing model met business needs. Variance analysis technique to evaluate difference between planned and actual performance, identifies corrective actions. Cost variance analysis reviewed over spending on hardware procurement. Waterfall model. Sequential linear project methodology provides structured phases and predictability. The team used waterfall model for hardware deployment, weighted shortest job first. So prioritization method used in Agile Save maximizes economic value delivery. WSJF helped prioritize features with highest ROI. Work authorization, formal approval to begin project work, ensures controlled execution. PM issued work authorization for development team to start coding. Work breakdown structure dictionary, document describing the work breakdown structure elements in detail, provides clarity and guidance. The WBS dictionary included descriptions, responsible team members, and milestones. Work package assignment, allocation of specific work packages to the team members, clarifies responsibility and accountability. The login model was assigned to 2 developers as a work package assignment. Variance at completion. Forecast deviation from budget at project completion provides insight into financial performance. BAC indicated a potential 5,000 overrun. Vision statement. High level description of project or product goals, align stakeholders on purpose. The project vision statement emphasized improving customer experience. WBS code of account, numeric or alpha, alphanumeric identifier for WBS elements, facilitates tracking and reporting. Each WBS element had a unique code for reporting purpose. Workflow diagram, visual representation of tasks, sequence, and processes helps clarify steps and dependencies. The workflow diagram showed approval steps for procurement process, zero defects, quality principles aiming for no errors in delivery. Deliverables enhances customer satisfaction. The development team adopted zero defects in coding and testing. Agile release planning, scheduling of features to be delivered in upcoming iterations aligns team and stakeholders. The release plan prioritizes top backlog items for the next sprint. Assumption log documents tracking project assumptions, ensures validation and management. The PM recorded all assumptions, recording resource availability in the assumption log. Backward pass, schedule calculation techniques to determine latest start and finish date, identifies float and critical path. The backward pass showed which tasks could be delayed without affecting the end date. Budget at completion. Total approved budget for the project provides baseline for cost performance measurement. BAC was set as 250K for the software implementation. Budget variance. Difference between planned and actual spending helps monitor cost performance. The budget variance showed overspending on hardware by 2K. Burn-up chart. Visual showing work completed versus total scope. The tracks, progress, and scope changes. The burn-up charts indicated the team had completed 60% of the planned feature. Change log, record of all approved and rejected changes, provides history and accountability. The change log documented scope modification and decisions. Configuration item. Components of a system tracked under configuration management ensures integrity and version control. The database schema was treated as a configuration item. Control account management control points in WBS for monitoring costs, schedule, and scope, facilitates performance measurement. The control account track progress on the marketing model. Control chart, statistical tool used to monitor process variation, helps identify trends and anomalies. A control chart shows defect trends during testing. Cost performance index measure of cost efficiency EV over AC indicates budget held. A CPI of 0.9 indicated this project was over budget. Cost variance CV. Difference between end value and actual cost shows financial performance. The CV revealed overspending in software licensing. Cost benefit analysis. Comparison of expected cost versus benefit guides investment decisions. Analysis justified funding for the new CRM system. Critical path method. Scheduling techniques identify longest sequence dependent tasks, determines earliest project completion. CPM identify tasks that could delay the project if late. Customer requirements, specifications provided by the customer for project deliverables ensures product meets expectations. Customer requirements included real-time reporting and analytics, dependency determination, identifying and documenting task dependencies, support accurate scheduling, team map task dependencies before building the schedule, design reviewed, formal evaluation of design deliverables ensures quality and compliance. The design review caught inconsistencies before development and value management. Technique integrating scope, schedule, and cost to measure project performance provides early warning for issues if VM showed the project was behind schedule and over budget. Estimate to complete. Forecasted cost to finish remaining project work, support budget management, etc. indicated an additional 10K was needed to complete testing. Feasibility report document assessing project viability and risk, support go or no go decision. The feasibility report confirmed resource availability for implementation. Float analysis calculating the flexibility of tasks within schedule, help manage delays. Flood analysis showed which tasks could be delayed without affecting the project and date. Functional composition. breaking down complex system into smaller manageable components, support planning and design. The software system was decomposed into modules, submodules, and features. Grant view. A visual timeline showing tasks, durations, dependencies, just like Gantt chart, impact analysis, and assesses of potential effect of changes to risk, informs decision making. Impact analysis showed that adding a feature could delay our project. Integrated baseline review. Review of project scope, schedule and cost baseline for alignment ensures realistic planning and performance tracking. The PM conducted an IBR to confirm the project baseline was achievable. Issue management, process of identifying, tracking, and resolving project issues prevents problems from escalating. Issue management addressed delays caused by vendor delivery. Lesson learned meeting. The meeting you schedule, for your lesson learned, we've done this before. Logical sequence, correct order of tasks based on dependencies ensures accurate scheduling. Tasks were arranged in logical sequence to optimize workflow. Management reserve. Budget or time set aside for unknown risk provides contingency for unforeseen events. The PM allocated a 10% of management reserve for unexpected scope changes. Parametric estimating are very important. Technique using historical data and statistical relationship to estimate cost or duration to improve accuracy and efficiency. The team used parametric estimating based on past project metrics. Precedence relationship dependencies linking two or more task guides, guide scheduling and sequencing. Testing had a finish to start with precedence relationship with development, and now we're on 200 project closure. That's a coincidence. Final phase, completing all project work, deliverables, and documentation, confirms objectives are met and releases resources. The PM conducted project closure by handling over deliverables and archiving documents. Project management office. Oh, we've done this before. Project performance reporting, process of collecting and distributing project performance information enables information decision making. Performance reports highlighted schedule and cost variance to stakeholders. Risk mitigation, actions taken to reduce the probability or impact of a risk, minimizes negative effects on the project. The team implemented risk mitigation by adding backup servers. Risk monitoring, continuous tracking of identified risk, ensures timely response to changes. Risk monitoring tracked supplier delays throughout the project. Schedule forecasting, predicting future project performance based on current progress helps adjust plans proactively. Schedule forecasting indicated potential delays in testing. Stakeholder engagement plan. Document detailing how stakeholders will be involved and communicated with, improves collaboration and support. The PM developed a stakeholder engagement plan for executives and end users. Work authorization system. The process controlling when work can begin ensures tasks are executed in a controlled manner. The PM used a work authorization system to release tasks to the team. And we've come to the end of our glossary of terms every project manager should know. I hope this was of good use to you. And if yes, please comment, like, and share. See you.